What's up, guys? Little pre-intro. So for the rack here, a lot of it I did like 2 years ago. So some of it's vertical, some of it's sideways, a lot of it's on my phone, and then some of this new stuff I forgot to bring the GoPro. So it's a lot of mishmash of footage, but I hope you like it. So angle iron bolted through with the plate and the piece. I gotta make everything, but we got these done. Still gotta cut the top off the other one, and then I gotta drill holes. I gotta paint everything. I still got pretty much everything to do. So the end of day one progress. We got these cut. Bamity jam, jam, jam. Oh, this one's magnetic now. Huh. Anyways, these got cut. I cut this down to the length to fit on the truck, so cut that. Cut that, bam. And then we have in the other video, but these is a 1/4 inch thick, 2.5. I'm not sure how they measure it, but 2.5 outer diameter, 1/4 inch thick wall, and it ends up perfect 2 inches right in the middle. There's almost no slot. There's like just a small amount of play, but practically perfect for what we need. So I just cut the top off of it. This was square tube. Cut the top off. I'm gonna put either 1 or 2 bolts. I don't know. Gotta put the angle iron and all that other shit. But yeah, this is the end of day one. Thought I would get a lot farther. Second day progress isn't huge. But we got these in there. So bam, bam, bam. I'm gonna make these pieces. Hopefully they're not flimsy, because they're probably gonna end up about here. But it's gonna be this. So I think it'll be fine. It shouldn't have any flims. Hopefully. Yeah, so I guess tomorrow I'm gonna try and make these, and then I could start welding everything, but I still got some stuff to do. So you saw these in the other video. This is gonna get welded to this, and then it's gonna be something like that. Put 2 bolts, so you gotta drill through here, 2 bolts, and then there's gonna be a bolt that goes through here, and that's what this little piece is. I'm gonna cut this in half and weld a bolt here and here, and that's gonna be like what if you bought this new. They have a bolt that's just like another bolt welded to it. So that's basically what I'm doing, except not welding the bolts together and welding it to this. So I'm gonna have that, and then so that's gonna stick up through here. This is the plate that goes on top of the bed rail. So I got those cut out and cut to size, cut these to size, cut these out. I only have a grinder, so I gotta cut it out of the big plate, which takes like forever. But yeah, so this, that, those. Hopefully day 3 is like done-ish. I'm sure I'm still gonna have a lot of welding and everything, but day 3 progress. Started off real slow. We ended up, making some progress. That was the plate, and I cut these 2 from when I cut the 2 middle pieces, and then I had to mark it and freehand it with the grinder the whole way down this plate. And so those were one piece. I was planning on bending them, but then we don't have anything here sturdy enough for me to be able to bend this. Our vise is it felt like it was gonna snap and stuff, so ended up just cutting it. But I actually like this better than like if it was rounded. I think this looks more, aggressive or whatever. So I'm actually happy. Couldn't bend it. I prefer this like straight compared to the thingies, the rounds. So started off slow, took like over an hour almost, right? I think, yeah, like over an hour just to cut these, because they're like this, to cut them with the grinder out of there. It took 3 grinding wheels and like over an hour of just straight grinding. But they came out like perfectly sized. They're even. Everything's straight. Some stuff might be off just a hair, but it's coming out pretty good. you know, for my first time ever making anything and all that, it's I'd say it's coming out pretty good. Day 4, I gotta make caps for these, weld those up, and then I'm just want to finish welding the whole thing, and that's what I hope to get done tomorrow. That's the end of day 3. I forgot to do a day, I think it was 5 update, so this is like day 6 or whatever. I don't know if you can see, but no flex. Move the whole truck with it. Actually, I think it's moving the whole like bed right there. It's definitely sturdy. I think it looks good. I'm happy with it. Ugh. So these are the caps. Just put those in. They fit perfect. I got 2 extras, so I'll throw that in the truck in case these like fall off and break or lose them or something. So I'll just put those 2 extra ones in the truck. I really like the way this truck's coming together. Got all my extra bed points. Got this nice rack. Sheesh. I'm in the process of remaking my rack here because I want it to fit with my cover. So these were my old brackets, and then I had a flat piece that sat up there. So I'm getting rid of these, adding these big pieces at angle, and then we're gonna attach it, like weld on the unistrut and bolt it to there. And then I got this because I want to make like a little winch thing that goes on there. You know, I'll explain it a little bit better later, but I just wanted to do a quick video before we get too far because I forgot to take any videos yet. But I completely made this 100% from scratch, these brackets and the rack and everything. So I'll edit in some photos and videos from my phone at some point of me actually building this. But yeah, I want to make the riser. Originally I was gonna like do something like that, but so this is gonna be the piece for the winch that's gonna go on there. I'm gonna have brackets that come down. I'll show when we get to that point. And then this, I'm gonna re-weld it because there's a couple spots that are a little iffy. So I'm gonna re-weld that. Got my winch in here. I'm gonna put D-rings on those pieces at angle, so I get extra tie down points. And then I'm gonna drill 3 holes. The angle's down in the back, so we gotta weld it, but I'm gonna drill 3 holes so that winch thing uses a hitch pin, like quick release, so I can take it off when I don't need it. And then I can move it, like if I need to get closer to the back or closer to the front or something. And then I just had this on so nobody steals anything while I'm in the back. Update, I got the D-rings welded on here. I got the brackets welded. I don't know how well you can see, but I got the brackets welded. So now I gotta bring it back up, bolt it all together to figure out where I'm gonna put the winch, because I gotta cut that thing, the square tube, cut it, weld on the brackets, and then figure out where I'm gonna drill the holes so I can pin it. And then I'm gonna have to put like rubber on these or something, because obviously they're gonna make some noise. Although it might not be too bad, because I want to get this all line-X'd. I don't know if I mentioned that yet or not. But, so it might not even really make noise once it's line-X'd, but you know, anyways. Now I gotta carry these back up. These are probably 50 pounds, roughly. 40? No, 40 pounds. These pieces are about 40 pounds right here. The whole rack's got to be close to like 200 between these pieces and the actual rack itself. But alright, I'll update you guys again probably when I do the winch thing. I'll do a quick update, and I'll do a rundown in the end when I get it line-X'd and everything. I'll do like a real good rundown, but I'm just trying to do a couple updates in between so you can see the progress. See this one? Just welded this one. Alright guys, so this is the end of day 1 progress. Pretty good. Got everything welded. But yeah, it's the end of day 1 progress. Hopefully you guys can see good because it's getting a little dark. But we got these welded on. And then I re-welded this. Fixed this back up a little bit. We made this. So originally I was going to put it like this piece on here, so that I could use, I got a winch, so I can put it like if I wanted to pull something in the bed with a ramp. But then my grandpa came up with some good ideas, because originally I was going to take this, flip it, make like a stack like that to raise it up, but then this is too big, so I would have had to cut it down on both sides, and then a lot of welding, and that would have been like an extreme amount of work. And he came up with this idea, which was better, so we just put it you know, bolt it onto where I originally had the bolt. And then I'm going to get those clamps, like for a camp topper, just to hold the back down. So you have a bolt in the front and then maybe one or two here, just to like keep it rigid and whatnot. You know, winter came, so I got the cover, and then all last year I never put this back on because I like the cover so much. So that's why I'm doing all this anyways. So yeah, we added those pieces to go up a little. So it bolts in there now, those unistrut pieces. And that raises it up so you can put the cover. And then I'm gonna have to put the weather stripping, which I got right here, put the weather stripping down to make up the difference for this. But I went way too thick. This is 3/8. It was ridiculous, but whatever. I also welded D-rings on the back and the front, so I get some extra tie-down points. And then yeah, this, I started talking about it. This is for the winch. So this is gonna slide over here. I'm gonna drill holes here and in the front so I can move it either from the front or the back. And then it slides in, so it's gonna go in, you could bolt it and then take it out when you don't need it. And then the winch is gonna go in there, you know, on the hitch receiver. I'm gonna bolt that to the hitch receiver mount and then go in there. And then I also have a hitch in the back and a hitch in the front that I could put that winch on. So it'd be very useful. Put lights here too, because I already got bed lights underneath here. You can't see them, but I got bed lights underneath here that I have tied into the factory bed lights. So I'm gonna tie these lights into the factory bed lights also. So you got the lights in here, and then I'll have 2 spotlights here so that I can light up the bed, and like for when I'm using my boat and stuff, it can light up back there. Got these holes drilled, so you got a back position and front position. I didn't do 3, I just did 2, because I think earlier I was talking about doing 3. So that's for the winch. So I got that drilled. Then I had a, I'll show you when I take it off if I remember, but there's like a little rail I could show you back here. So I gotta put that weather stripping down like I was saying. But anyways, back to what I was gonna tell you, is there's this little rail here, if you could see it. It's like this stuff. So I had to cut it out to make it fit over the bolts. But it's perfect, it just clears. Like here's the, those camper top clamps I was talking about. So it just clears, like it's not putting any pressure on it. You know, maybe over time it'll wear out or something, but this was actually, I really love this cover. I forget what it was, but it was cheap and it's actually really nice. So I could just get another one, you know, unless they stop making them or something. Anyways, I accidentally welded this on the wrong way. So instead of it being here, the hole's on the top. So I gotta drill holes here. And then I gotta drill out my winch plate here and mount the winch. And do the lights. What's up guys, little update. We are finally done. I just gotta go get the bolts. You know, the bolts for the winch bracket and the bolts for the actual winch setup. So I put one of these quick connects on there. The wire is slightly smaller because I already had this made up. I could have soldered these to here, but I already had this, so it was quicker to just do this instead of like unsolder this and everything. But if it ends up melting like the wires, then I'll just put this on here. So not a big deal, but it plugs in. That's my trolling motor battery for my boat. So it's pretty nice. I guess I'll show you real quick. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but whatever. So pretty nice. Let me show you guys this real quick. So it's wired into the factory bed lights. And I had talked about those bed lights underneath before, but I never showed you. So now you can see. So you got the bed lights work. And let's see, I don't know if you guys can see. Got the strip light underneath. And now I got the spotlights up top. But alright, that's it. I think the next update will be once I get it lined next and put it on for realsies. So I forgot my GoPro again, but there's the lights installed. Alright, so there was 2 layers of weather stripping. I cut off the first layer completely. First I cut it like halfway. It was still real bad, so then I cut it off completely. And now it's pretty natural. Like you can't just pop it, but if you just pull it just a tiny bit, it'll come down. So it feels pretty natural. So if you just pop it, it gets stuck. But if you just barely pull it, it comes down like normal. So I think I'm happy with that. So yeah, I ended up cutting off, there was 2 lips for whatever reason. So I did half at first and then I just took the rest of it off because it was still sticking, but it's still, I don't think any water should leak in. Let's see, can you see? Because it's still perfectly, there's no gaps. So should be good. No water should get in. Current update, got it powder coated, got it all back on. It was such a pain in the ass because this was already like, you had to hammer it in, and then it was, I think I said powder coated, but Line-X. Anyways, so this had the Line-X on it, you know, on this, and the piece over here, so it was a real pain in the ass to get everything together because it was already so tight. But I put the foam, so it's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty good. So a little water is probably gonna go in there, but that doesn't really matter because that just drains. I don't think you're gonna be able to see it, but it just drains down. So not a big deal. But I think she'll be sealed up just as good as she was before. I'll have to see when it rains if any water gets in. But you got just a hair of light in the corners, but that's about how it was before. But the actual front whole seam, that whole front seam is actually sealed. Just the little corners got a little bit. So I think it'll be good, you know, at least good enough. It doesn't have to be 100% watertight, just like to keep the majority of the snow and everything out of here.